Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle to the race that we might look back on later as having been a path to finding the winner. Well, we have the final group races of the season on Sunday. A couple of nice horses going through the ranks there, but they're not the races I'm going to focus on. I'm having a look at the bookends of the card. Firstly, race 1, where our winning factor is the jockey. Now, this is a fairly average sort of class 4, to be completely honest. We have Compassion Spirit back into this grade again. Blissful Star hasn't had a lot of luck lately. I can see Diamond Flare improving on his form from gate 1 this time. And down in the weights, Trust Me and River Views have chances from good barriers. So no real standouts in this on form, and when we take a look at the map as we're going to do now, I can't see that being the decisive factor in the race either. Because when we look at how the race sets up, most of the winning chances that I've mentioned there, with the exception of Blissful Star, have drawn low and get a nice map, not only with inside barriers, but also the speed to take advantage of those inside barriers in a race where the pace looks to favour horses closer to the front. And with that in mind, I'm looking at Trust Me and Compassion Spirit as the ones that take the eye. Firstly, Trust Me, this is race 696. He's in gate 13 in yellow colours, and he's one of the first to begin, but with quite a few under him showing speed, jockey Zac Purton elects to come back so as not to cover too much ground. But the outcome there is that he ends up a long way back, even when the leaders don't go on with it and steady mid-race, and that leaves him a lot to do and not much lead pressure to help him run on. He finishes okay, but it works to the line steadily without threatening. Now, the way this race sets up on Sunday, I think we might see his new jockey Mickey D using the horse's speed a little bit more to be prominent, and a key gear change here too. Blinkers coming off Trust Me, so that we might not see him over race if he is ridden a little bit positively. But he's still the ride that Zac Purton has rejected in favour of Compassion Spirit. Now, Compassion Spirit is a horse Zac has ridden 6 times for 3 wins, so he's got a good record on the horse. And coming back to class 4, where Compassion Spirit has won 4 out of 8. So let's, rather than look at the 7 starts he's had in class 3 recently, where he's raced well but hasn't been able to crack it despite finishing within 3.5 lengths of the lead in 6 of those 7 runs, let's go back to his win in December, the last time that he ran in this grade. This is race 247. He's from gate 8 here with Hugh Bowman aboard, yellow and purple colours with a white cap, and Bowman is in no hurry early in what is a solid pace for most of the race. He parks Compassion Spirit midfield. The pace quickens around the circle, even giving more help to horses who can run on, and that is Compassion Spirit, who we see power through near the inside to take over in the final 150 metres, and he really wins with some comfort at the finish. Which brings us to our winning factor, jockey Zac Purton. Now, I'm often asked why horses down in class are not one of the factors that I use, and the answer is pretty simple. They're a lousy bet. They win about a little bit less than half as often as horses rising in class. You've got to remember, this is not athletics. 97% of racing in Hong Kong is under handicaps. So the drop in class isn't all that it's cracked up to be. However, over the years, there has been one exception to this rule that down in class isn't a great bet, and that's Zac Purton. Take a look here. I can't explain why that is, but Purton is really the only jockey with whom you can make money backing horses dropping in class. This table shows the last 10 years. Now, I've ranked them here by the number of eligible rides. There's a cut-off at a minimum of 30 rides down in class for each jockey, and I've left out some of the current riders so that I can include some past jockeys, some big names who are not riding here now, just to make the comparison. Now, there's a good mention there for Alexi Bedell, Hugh Bowman and Lyle Hewitson of the current crop, but really Nobody gets near Purton at this, now or before, in terms of beating market expectations. And just for interest's sake, in the right-hand column is your betting result over the last 10 years if you bet level stake every time the jockey rides a horse dropping in class. Some really bad results there, but over 718 rides, there's a 2.3% positive return on Purton at Hong Kong tote odds, and that is remarkable. So the tip in race 1, Compassion Spirit. His winning factor, the jockey. Now there's a lot of things to like about form for Compassion Spirit. He's won 4 out of 8 in this class, he's racing well, he's won 3 out of 6 for his favourite jockey, but Zac Purton is really a flashing light for this particular scenario that we normally don't like, a horse dropping in class. The second race I want to take a look at is race 10, and our winning factor here, the map. Now just a handy class 3, quite a few chances too, with the Wings of War, who's starting to find some form lately. Choo Chow Spirit is a very promising 3-year-old. Solid Impact will have his fans with the 10-pound claimer getting aboard. Taj Dragon is racing well in similar events. Golden Artie had excuses since his win this course and distance recently. And Circuit Mighty is up in grade off a last start Class 4 win. But once again, I'm going to take an early look at the map in this segment because it is a critical aspect of the race and it's going to offer some disadvantages for some of the horses I've mentioned as having chances of winning the race. Notably the likes of Choo Chow Spirit and Wings of War from wider awkward gates, and it will advantage in particular Circuit Mighty and Taj Dragon. Most likely following each other in that order along the inside rail from their good draws and racing towards the front of the race. Now, I don't see a lot of pace in it, though that's the obvious setup that could bring more positive rides from horses like Wings of War, who was ridden that way last time, or Solid Impact for the apprentice Ellis Wong. There could be some changes in running to this map, but the adjustment for Circuit Mighty and Taj Dragon looks minimal, even if we do find it's a little more competitive towards the lead than expected. So I think the advantages are with Taj Dragon and Circuit Mighty. That's where I'm focusing, so let's have a look at what they've been doing. So race 682 was the last time we saw Taj Dragon, gate 1, light blue colours, and Vincent Ho aboard. And there really isn't much to say about this race. Taj Dragon gets a perfect run. He jumps well, takes a spot just off a pace that isn't too taxing or too slow. The leaders pick up around the circle so that gaps open up, and even the co-leader rolls out to give Taj Dragon the perfect run through to make his challenge. And if you freeze this race at the 200 metres, he is the winner. But in the final stages, along comes Find My Love, who proves the better horse on the day. But Find My Love is a pretty decent animal, so there's no disgrace in that. And that gives Taj Dragon, a repeat of that anyway, gives Taj Dragon as good a chance as any here, better than most. And that's true also of Circuit Mighty, and we're going to have a look at his last start win in Class 4. So this is race 697, ridden by Zac Purton. He's in white and pink and green, barrier 12. And Circuit Mighty is aggressively pressing forward in an early pace that is above average before he settles for 4th, outside the other horse who fights out the finish, Yellow Fin, in the white and yellow. Now from the 800 metres we see the lead pressure really shoots up, about 4.5 lengths faster than average in fact, and as it does, Yellow Fin looks to have the better of Circuit Mighty for foot speed, and Yellow Fin turns into the straight looking the horse to beat. But this is the key to Circuit Mighty. His best efforts have been when asked to work hard and be tough, and Purton keeps at him strongly, and he finally wears down Yellow Fin to get in. And the horse he beat, Yellow Fin, well, of course, he bolted in at his next start about 7 days ago. So it's good form. But I think we saw there the key to Circuit Mighty. Now, Zac Purton's had 3 rides on the horse for 3 wins. He's ridden him exactly the same way every time. He's made him do plenty of work at stages in the run. He's been very strong on him, and that seems to be the key to Circuit Mighty. Probably he wouldn't win a race with a pretty ride, and I'm sure that even though Zac now jumps off to ride Taj Dragon, that the new jockey, Brenton Avdulla, will have done his homework and gone to school on just how Zach wins on this horse. So the tip from me in race 10 is Circuit Mighty. His winning factor, the map. Now these two horses are clearly the picks on the map. It really advantages them and disadvantages plenty of others. If anything, I'd like to tip a dead heat because there is nothing between them. However, I've gone for Circuit Mighty because I think he'll be the better value odds. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Enjoy the group racing. We'll see you next time.